Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere else, at home with friends, lost in your routine, or fighting silent battles no one knows about. But you chose this room, this moment, this journey. And that tells me something powerful. You're searching for clarity, for healing, for meaning, for a reason to believe again. Some of you walked in here with hope, some with doubt, some with a smile on your face while a storm rages quietly inside. Some of you have been hurting for a long time, carrying a weight you never told anyone about, a weight that kept you awake at night when the world thought you were sleeping peacefully. You showed up anyway, and that alone is courage. Look around you. Every person beside you has a story, a dream, a wound you can't see. You're not alone, not tonight. Life gets heavy, we all know that. Sometimes you feel like you're fading in a crowd that never notices you. Sometimes you wonder if your efforts matter, if your pain has purpose, if your voice is even heard. But hear me now, you matter. Your story matters. Your presence matters. The fact that you are here means that something inside you refuses to quit. Something deep within still believes there is more for you. More strength, more love, more life. Maybe you lost someone. Maybe you lost yourself. Maybe you're trying to rebuild from pieces no one helped you pick up. And still, you came. That tells me your heart is still fighting. That tells me your soul hasn't surrendered. You are in the right place. In this room, you are seen. You are safe. You are understood. Tonight is not about perfection. It's about honesty. It's about showing up even when you're scared. So thank you for choosing to be here. Thank you for giving yourself another chance. Because this moment, right here, right now, is the beginning of something new. Welcome. I want to talk to you about a truth many people spend their whole lives avoiding. Sometimes life breaks you before it builds you. One day, everything feels normal. The sun is out. You're moving forward. You have a plan. Then, without warning, life shifts. The phone rings, the door closes, a dream collapses, and suddenly, you're standing in the ruins of what used to be. It's strange, isn't it? How life can change in a single moment. How the thing you thought was permanent can vanish like smoke between your fingers. Some of you know that feeling too well. The heartbreak, the abandonment, the betrayal, the silence after someone leaves. Some of you know what it's like to smile in public and fall apart in private. You wake up, force yourself through the day, crawl back into bed, and wonder how much longer you can pretend that everything is fine. And still you keep going. That doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. Let me tell you a story, not about heroes or people born fearless, but about someone ordinary, someone like you, someone who thought they had everything under control until life decided otherwise. This person was cracked open by loss, by doubt, by disappointment. They didn't grow in sunlight. They didn't bloom in comfort. They grew in the dark. Because sometimes the dark is a teacher. It strips away what you thought mattered and reveals what truly does. It forces you to meet yourself, your real self, without masks, without noise, without pretending. It hurts. God, it hurts. But the truth is, no soul ever became strong by staying comfortable. Strength is forged in the places we pray we never have to visit. Strength is born in the nights we thought would break us. And you are stronger than you know. Maybe life didn't give you a choice. Maybe you were forced to grow, forced to endure, forced to learn how to breathe in the middle of chaos. Maybe you begged for peace, but were handed storms. Maybe the people you trusted turned away when you needed them most. Maybe love didn't stay. Maybe support never came. Maybe you learned to hold yourself because no one else would. If that's you, you're not broken, you're becoming. Because the ones who survive the darkness are never the same again. They walk differently. They think differently. They love differently. They know the value of a quiet morning when the sun touches their face. They know the sweetness of gentle company. They know how precious a simple breath can be. Pain doesn't just wound us, it wakes us. It wakes us to the truth that life is not measured by what we lose, but by what we carry through it. And right now, You are carrying more than you realize. I know it feels heavy. I know some days it feels impossible. But weight does not exist to crush you. It exists to build muscle, the physical kind, the emotional kind, the spiritual kind. You're growing new strength in places that were once fragile. You're becoming someone your old self could only imagine. You may not see it yet. That's okay. Seeds grow long before they break the surface. You just keep breathing, keep stepping, keep holding on, because your story is not over. It's unfolding. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right on time for your life, your purpose, your transformation. This is not the end. This is the turning point. And someday, you'll look back and understand why the storm was necessary. There's a mountain inside every human heart. Some climb because they want to be seen. Others climb because they're running from something. But the bravest ones, they climb because they've been broken, and they refuse to stay where the pain left them. Listen, strength isn't loud. It's not the roar everyone hears. Sometimes strength is the quiet breath you take when no one is watching. It's whispering to yourself, I'll try again tomorrow, even when today defeated you. That is power. People will tell you to be strong without ever teaching you how. So let's talk about how. How do you stay strong when life breaks you? When everything you built turns to dust in your hands? When you no longer recognize the person in the mirror? You start by sitting with the pain, not running from it, not numbing it, not pretending it's gone. Sit with it. Listen to it. Because pain is not the enemy. Avoidance is. Pain is honest. It tells you what changed, what was lost, what mattered. It shows you where you need to heal. When life wounds you, your instinct is to run. But growth lives in the place you fear. I remember a moment, a night so quiet, it felt like the world had stopped breathing. There was a feeling, like my chest was hollowing out, like the universe was folding in on me. I sat alone in that silence, thinking, is this what it feels like to be forgotten by life? And maybe you've been there too, on the floor of your room, on the edge of your bed, on a walk where your feet moved, but your heart stayed behind. That moment breaks you, but it also introduces you to yourself. We spend our lives surrounded by noise, opinions, expectations, comparisons. But when everything falls apart, only truth remains, the truth of who you are, the truth of what you value, the truth of what you're made of. And there, in that terrifying clarity, your new life begins. The world worships success, but it's suffering that shapes us. It humbles us. It teaches us compassion. It reminds us that every human being is walking their own broken road. If life has shattered you, I want you to hear this. Nothing is wrong with you. You are responding to pain in the most human way possible. And still you're here, still breathing, still searching, still fighting. Strength is not the absence of pain. It's the refusal to let pain steal your becoming. There is a moment right before the breakthrough where you feel the weakest, where you feel like falling apart, where every step feels heavier than the last. That is not your ending. That is your transformation. Do you know how gold is purified? Fire. Do you know how diamonds are made? Pressure. How stars are born? Darkness. Everything beautiful you admire was forged in hardship, and so are you. The world sees your scars and calls them flaws. But scars are proof that the pain didn't win. Scars say, I walked through fire and came out on the other side. Don't hide them. They are your medals. When life breaks you, it's not destroying you. It's carving you into someone deeper, wiser, more alive. The person you were is gone. Honor them, grieve them, but don't spend your life trying to become them again. You are not supposed to return to who you were before the storm. You are meant to evolve into someone new because of it. A soul that has suffered and stayed open is the rarest kind of beauty, and that beauty belongs to you. So you stay strong by letting yourself feel, by allowing the heartbreak to teach you, by opening your hands, your mind, your heart to the possibility that something greater can come from the pieces. Because it can, because it will, but not all at once. Healing is not a straight line. It's not fast. It's not pretty. Some days you'll rise. Other days you'll collapse. You'll take one step forward, two steps back, and think you're failing. You're not. You're rebuilding. Every tear that falls waters the soil of who you're becoming. Every night you survive is an act of revolution. Every small choice, to get up, to try, to breathe, is strength. Don't underestimate the quiet battle no one sees. That's where the real war is fought. That's where the real victories are won, inside. You can lose everything, your job, your reputation, your relationships. But if you still have yourself, you haven't lost. Because the greatest strength you will ever know comes from the moment you realize you are still here, even after life tried to erase you. That realization is the beginning of power. It's where courage is born. It's where hope takes root. And hope, even in its smallest form, is stronger than fear ever will be. Hope whispers, maybe is enough to move mountains. There will come a day when you wake up and the pain feels different. Not gone, but softer. Like a storm that finally passed, leaving the earth wet and breathing. You'll step outside and notice something small. A bird singing, a gentle wind, sunlight slipping through the window. And for the first time in a long time, you'll feel a quiet warmth beneath your ribs. That small moment is not an accident. It's evidence that your heart is healing. You didn't see it happening. You thought nothing was changing. But healing often works in silence, like roots growing underground before a sprout ever appears. This is how you stay strong when life breaks you. You allow time to do its sacred work. Time is not your enemy. Impatience is. We're taught to rush, to fix, to move on as if pain is a sign of weakness. It's not. Pain is a sign that something meaningful has touched us. Honor it. Honor what you lost. Honor what you felt. Because love, no matter how it ends, is never wasted. Sometimes strength looks nothing like power. Sometimes strength is letting go of what's already gone. There are people who were meant to leave. Not because you were unworthy, but because their part in your story had ended. Stop trying to resurrect what was never meant to survive. The universe is not punishing you. It's redirecting you. I know. That sounds like a nice idea when your heart isn't bleeding. But when you're broken, it's hard to believe anything good could come from the pieces. It feels cruel, unfair, personal. But life isn't attacking you. Life is shaping you. Think about it. The deepest moments of wisdom come from the places you swore you'd never survive. The most compassionate souls are the ones who needed compassion the most. The people who shine the brightest are the ones who once lived in darkness. Nothing you've endured is meaningless. Your suffering has carved space inside you. Space for empathy, for sensitivity, for depth, for connection. Some say you have to leave the past behind. I disagree. You don't have to leave it. You have to carry it differently. Not as chains, but as lessons. Not as wounds, but as wisdom. You are not defined by what broke you. You are defined by the way you rise. Some nights you'll feel the ache return. Grief isn't linear. Healing isn't tidy. There will be days when you feel like you're back at the beginning. That doesn't mean you've failed. It means you're human. Growth is not a straight climb. It's a spiral. You'll return to the same pain with new understanding. Each time, you'll feel a little stronger, a little braver, a little more capable of sitting with what once terrified you. You'll learn that the heart doesn't heal by forgetting. It heals by remembering without drowning. It heals by finding meaning inside the chaos. One day you'll look at your scars and they will feel different too. Not as reminders of suffering, but as proof that you lived, that you felt deeply, that you loved courageously, that you survived intentionally. Your scars are a roadmap of everywhere you've been and everything you've become. Wear them with honor. Life does not reward the unbroken. It honors the resilient. And resilience isn't born in comfort. It's born in devastation. It's born when you look at the ruins and say, I will build again. It's born when you choose to trust that the universe still has plans for you, even when you don't. It's born when you learn to stand in the same place that once shattered you and not tremble. The strongest people I've known were never the ones who walked through life untouched. They were the ones who stood in the ashes of what was and still chose to believe in what could be. Faith is not a feeling. It's a choice. A choice to keep going even when you can't see the path. A choice to believe that there is purpose in every season, even when the season wounds you. A choice to trust that every ending is also a beginning. I know it's hard. I know you're tired. But the fact that you're still here means you have more chapters to write. You don't need to see the finish line. You just need to take the next step, because the next step is always enough. And over time, those steps lead you toward a life you never imagined. A life built from strength you didn't know you had. A life formed not despite the suffering, but because of it. You are not the same person you were before life broke you. You're wiser now, more courageous, more real. You feel things deeper. You see people clearer. You love more honestly. That is not weakness. That is the beginning of becoming whole. And maybe that's the entire point. Maybe life doesn't break you to destroy you. It breaks you to introduce you to the deeper layers of yourself, to the part of you that cannot be shaken, cannot be stolen, cannot be silenced. There is a version of you still waiting beneath the rubble, a version untouched by fear, unscarred by doubt, unburdened by the opinions of others. A version that knows exactly who you are and why you're here. Your job is not to force your healing. Your job is simply to not give up. Keep breathing, keep feeling, keep stepping, because even the smallest steps count as progress. Healing is quiet. Strength is subtle. It doesn't always look like victory. Sometimes it looks like sitting in silence and giving yourself permission to cry. Sometimes it looks like choosing rest instead of running. Sometimes it looks like letting go of someone you love, because holding on is killing pieces of you. Staying strong is not about being unbreakable. It's about being willing to build yourself again and again and again, no matter how many times life pulls you apart. And if you're thinking, I don't know how to rebuild, let me tell you a secret no one does, not at first. We learn as we go. We heal as we go. We grow as we go. Piece by piece, day by day. You rebuild by choosing the smallest lifeline: faith, a memory, a friend, a prayer, your breath. Whatever keeps you tethered to the possibility that life still has more for you. Because it does. You are not here by accident. You are not breathing by accident. Something bigger than you has kept you alive on nights you thought you wouldn't make it. That is purpose. And purpose is never random. The fire you walked through was not meaningless. The loss you survived did not happen to end you. It happened to prepare you. Some of the most powerful souls to ever walk this earth were shaped by seasons of breaking, not because life favored them, but because they refused to let the breaking become their burial. They chose to rise. And so will you. Your story is far from over. You're in a chapter that hurts to read, but one day you'll turn the page and everything will make sense. You'll understand why you had to lose some things to gain others. You'll understand why certain people left and why new ones arrived. You'll understand why the universe said no to some of your deepest prayers, because something better was waiting on the other side. Life is not easy. It never was. But you were born with the strength to survive your storms. Don't let the darkness convince you that light has forgotten you. Even the longest night is followed by morning, and morning always comes. So when the world feels heavy, place your hand over your heart. Feel it, that rhythm, that quiet, persistent beat. That is your reminder you are still here. And as long as you're here, there is hope. You may not feel strong today. That's okay. Strength isn't always a roar. Sometimes it's the soft whisper, I'll try again tomorrow. And that whisper is enough, because strength is the willingness to try again, to believe again, to hope again. Even when everything in you feels tired, I want you to remember this. You are allowed to fall apart. You are allowed to break. You are allowed to feel. But you are not allowed to surrender your story before destiny finishes writing it. Life didn't bring you this far to abandon you now. Everything you have survived prepared you for what is coming. You are being shaped for a future your past self couldn't even imagine. A life with meaning, a life with depth, a life with purpose. And when you finally rise, and you will rise with wisdom, with compassion, with a strength that can't be taken. You'll look at your reflection and see someone you're proud of. Not because they never fell, but because they never stayed down. You'll realize that the breaking was not the end, but the beginning. So stand, even if you shake, walk. Even if it's slow, hope, even if it's quiet. Because this life, your life, is not done with you, and you are not done with it. The world needs you, your heart, your story, your spirit. You're not a burden. You're a blessing in the making. And when your time comes to shine, the world will understand why you had to walk through so much darkness. So hold on. Better days are not a myth, they're a promise, and they're on their way. Ladies and gentlemen, may you leave here tonight not just inspired, but awakened. Awaken to your strength. Awaken to your purpose. Awaken to the truth that nothing in this universe can break a soul that chooses to rise. You are stronger than the pain that tried to end you. You are bigger than the storm that tried to drown you. You are deeper than the wound that tried to define you. This is not the end. This is your beginning. So walk forward with courage, with gentleness, with faith. And remember, even a heart that's been shattered can still beat beautifully. Even a soul that's been bruised can still shine like gold. The light you're searching for is already inside you. You just have to believe long enough to see it. I believe in you. Now it's your turn. Thank you.